And this week we built some new systems within FUB that are going to help automate your follow-up and just make it easy to keep track of. You aren't going to have to keep track of anything in your head. So we're going to be talking through what that looks like, as well as what to do when you're actually reaching out to people. And so,
hi, and I just want to add to this. This is a work in progress. So the plan's not final yet. We're just kind of, it's just a jumping off point. And, you know, I'd love today while we're talking to have some feedback from you and what it is that you do for follow-up with your clients once they're closed. What happens at the closing table for you and what are you doing from that point forward? The goal of this is that really there's an absence of plans, right? Or people who are following a post-closing plan. And every sale that we close should lead to 3 to 5 referrals at least for you. Ideally way more than that if we're doing it correctly. And if there's a follow-up plan in place that is always keeping you front of mind with your client, it's going to make it much easier to receive those referrals, right? So again, the goal is you're providing extended service beyond the closing and you're always front of mind with that person.
absolutely. I couldn't have said it any better. And one of the things that Parker talks about all the time is building a referral-based business. And the Zillow splits suck. Paying 40% to Zillow is trash. And on top of that, and so being able to optimize your strategy to be able to generate 3 to 5 personal closings from every single Zillow lead is going to bring your business to the next level. And that's what we want to empower you to do today. So we developed an action plan that I'm going to pull up on my screen right here. And we're going to walk through it a little bit together. And this was developed by myself and Jelena. And so if anyone has any feedback, anything that they think should be added to it, we would love to hear it as we're creating this. So we have this basically automated that when you move the client to close, it's going to automatically apply the plan and start giving you the reminders. And like I said, I'm just going to walk through it right now. Task number 1 is going to be take a picture with clients at the closing or final walkthrough. Jumping into 2, follow them on social media, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and post a photo with a client testimonial, tagging them. And then number 4 right there, request reviews. This is just a tag that gets thrown on there.
Now, I'm going to jump in real quick and I want to highlight that. So this is listed as a post-closing follow-up plan. A lot of these things I actually recommend doing before closing. For instance, I don't like waiting until closing to ask for a review. My preference in asking for a review is as soon as that offer is accepted, because that is when your client is on a high and they are the absolute, like they are in a state of happiness and thrilled about getting their offer accepted. And they're more apt to do something for you in return because you've just delivered for them. So having this post-closing plan is just, if you haven't done that already or missed that step in the process of working with your client, think of it as a reminder to do that if you haven't done it yet. As far as following on social media, I do that as soon as my clients are under, or I meet them in person. I stalk them on Facebook, I stalk them on Instagram, and I want to know that, hey, if I've met you and I've already invested a little bit of time, I want you to see who I am. I want you to see how busy I am in real estate and what my presence on social media is. Sometimes they'll share information about the team or a link to the team page as well, so they can see all that Pemberton Homes does. So that's another thing that happens before closing. Again, if you haven't done those things already, this is an opportunity to make sure that they are done so that after the closing, they're not forgetting about you.
Right, exactly. And that's the entire goal of this, to stay top of mind with your clients and to make sure that they're well taken care of.
Can I ask a question quick? I would like to know who on, you can keep sharing if you want to.
I wanted to see all people's faces.
So if you're on this training, who of you are friending your clients or leads on social media, looking them up on social media before they are committed? You can just raise your hand on the thing or comment in the chat. Ashley, I know you are. I watch your social media, girl. I comment on your social media all the time. And I love it because you have such a balance of your professional life, your life as a mother, and who you are as a person, what you're interested in. You do a great job of that. That's Ashley Buford I'm talking to right now.
Mhm.
So, again, it's such an important thing for staying connected with people. I have a love-hate relationship with social media. I would strongly encourage you to do that before you have them to client status, even because you want to give them an idea of who you are as a person.
Absolutely.
Make advantage of that, but then the task list is there just in case you're seeing them post-closing.
It's a reminder, really, to make sure it's a checklist of sorts of you're going to get these 4 tasks on that first day. And it's like, have we done these things yet? And if we haven't, we're jumping in, knocking them out so that we can optimize referrals for the future. And
I'm sorry to be that person. I got kicked out for some reason. Can you go back and show me where this task list is? I'm sorry.
yes, and I'm going to cover that. This is going to automatically come up on your task list.
Oh,
It's an
perfect.
action
Okay.
plan. I have this pulled up on the back end just to show you what it's going to include.
So Ashley, what you're asking is if you go to Follow Up Boss, down on the right-hand side where you see action plans under the client's name, if you click on the plus sign, there's going to be action plans available to you. And what is that one cataloged as?
Closing day.
Yep, if you type in closing, then you have a closing day plan that's there for you to use.
Fabulous. Thank you.
Yep, if you missed that part at the beginning, this is not final, right? One of the things I was hoping for today is anybody who's on this training or call, if you have something you're doing and it works really well, please discuss that with the group. We would love to put that into the plan. So this is still something that we are building.
So again, that's under action plans here on FUB. You can find the 6 to 12 month and 12+ month nurture plans in here. But if I go on here, type in closing, it's going to be the first one right at the top.
I do have a question too. Is there a way to see the steps of any said action plan before agreeing to put our client on that?
Ashley, that is such a good question, and I'm so glad you asked it. So what you're going to do for that is you're going to hit admin up here. And under admin, you're going to see action plans.
Oh.
Under action plans, there are different folders here that you can check out. We have a total of 91 of them in here. Some of these, and I don't think some of these are like TC and flex mortgage plans. And so we probably have like 60 of them available to agents. Some of them are implemented in there through Follow Up Boss. Some of them we purchased from other companies in the past. But if you go in here, this is where you can look at different action plans. So we have nurture plans, we have seller plans, we have prospecting plans. Any of the PHG ones are the ones that I've personally created for agents here. And then if you go in and type closing, like I said, at the very top, it's closing day. So I'm going to go ahead and open this one up here. And this is exactly what you're going to see right here. It's going to say,
does it text people?
Say that again?
Does it like text people, or does it kind of leave them alone and leaves it up to you?
It leaves it up to the agent.
Okay.
So
it's not AI.
Good question.
Yeah, where it doesn't it's not automated. What it'll do is it'll tell you to text. And then for a lot of these plans, we'll have a script or something in there that pops up as a note for you to use. You can send that, copy and paste and send that exact thing if you want to as a text, or you can modify it a little bit to be more in line with your speaking tone or how you speak to people. So it's just a guide. It's really what it is.
right. It's a guide.
Perfect.
And it's a set of reminders. We're never going to send stuff to your clients on your behalf. That's always going to come from you.
Now, the exception to the rule with that is email, correct?
There aren't any emails on this plan.
Okay, but our nurture plans, if they were using a nurture plan,
Right. Nurture
Yeah.
plans, it would.
just so you, because I think your question was in general for plans, correct, Sam?
Yeah, in general.
Okay,
I've got like Elizabeth doing a couple little things. Like if I put someone under contract and they're not in Follow Up Boss, I usually she like will add them for me. You know, like if it's a personal deal. Like to me, it would be helpful if when a when a deal closes, they just automatically do this.
That's what we're doing right now.
Correct, we are, so that
Oh, okay.
there is a TC part of this that's not showing yet. And we have some follow-up tasks that the TC are gonna do to simplify all that. I'd like it to show what your deal is and have your deal recorded on the side, and you remember like the address that they purchased is updated. If they were originally a seller and you had their home address in and now they've moved to a new address, that's updated to the correct address.
Yep, I just got bitched out for that.
Oh,
I
well,
was sending mailers to a listing that I had.
we are a
And-
work in progress, Sam, and we're gonna get it better.
And this is just one way in which we're bringing it to the next level right here. And
Wait
so,
a minute, what happened, Sam? I want to hear that.
Oh, just the address for someone I did a sell by.
Yeah.
The address wasn't updated, so my mailers were going to the house that they sold, and that person bitched me out.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Dang. Okay, that makes sense.
Well, keep in mind that some people are just miserable people.
Yep.
And if they need to bitch you out over a postcard that comes in the mail, maybe there are other things they need to look at in their life,
That's
Sam.
one of like 50 postcards or trash mail that they get.
Correct. It's really not that big of a deal.
I was gonna
but
say,
at the
like,
same time, I understand you're wanting to send stuff to your sphere. So yes, that is one of the steps that we are having the transaction coordinators do,
mhm,
or ideally start doing, so that all of those records are accurate.
yes. And so, like I said, day one is going to be these 3 tasks on immediately. I'm pointing to my screen, like I think you guys can see it. But, and so step 1, like I said, take a picture with clients closing or final walkthrough. Follow on social media if you haven't already, and post a photo with a client testimonial. And then number 3, again, if you haven't already, request reviews. If this goes under closing, auto applies, and you get these 3 tasks on here and you've already done them, just hit click, click, click. Cool, done. But like I said, it's an opportunity to make sure that you don't miss anything in the process. Day 8 is going to be your very first follow-up. And on day 8, you're going to give them a call. You're going to call or text. Would you do a call?
I always do a phone call, so this is based a lot on what I do for my post-closing plan. I'm strategic about following up after the fact. I call at a week post-closing to make sure all of their utilities have been set up and are turned on.
Mhm.
Even though we use services to make it easy for our clients, sometimes they just forget or they're determined that they're going to do it themselves. I just do that as a friendly reminder, and it's an extra touch point to see how the first week has gone in the home and how they're settling in. So that's
Will
the
you
reason I
go
do that.
referrals in this phone call?
Nope.
Like,
So
and so
I-
you're just checking in.
Yeah, so referrals I ask for at the closing table, right? That's my first introduction. Ian actually, Ian Haug has a great way that he says this. At the closing table, he will tell people, I have really enjoyed working with you. I'm looking to work with more clients who are like you. If you know anybody or you have any friends and family who are looking for a home or looking to buy and sell, I would love to work with them too. So that's a great time to kind of introduce the referral process. And he does it with a compliment on closing day when they're happy.
And I just texted that in the chat for anyone that wants to copy and paste that for using it in the future.
Yeah.
And so 1 week in, you're getting your very first touch point with them. A week later from them, you're actually going to call them again. And this time you're going to check in again, make sure that everything's going all right. And part of the direction of your call is going to be, hey, I just want to confirm that you've been receiving mail and that you're no longer receiving mail from the previous senders. And like I said, it's a touch point. And these are just excuses of things to talk about here.
And then I just want to circle back really quick to the social media post, because I think this is important. Everybody loves something special being shared about them. I think it's human nature that we all at some point in our lives need some words of affirmation and want to feel special. And I think it goes a long way when you are taking a picture with your clients and you're posting something on social media about a closing, that you're telling a story about your experience working with that client. What cemented the relationship? What was the process of being introduced? How many homes did you show? Or was there a silly thing that happened during working together that really stood out? Did you jive well with them because they're just starting their, just starting their family, or maybe there were inside jokes like that have cemented a friendship. Something that makes them feel special and valued for you having worked with them. And tag them in that post. If
Yep.
they're already friended on social media, they're going to see that and they're going to share that to their page because they're so excited about their new house. And now everybody that's associated with them is going to see the experience they had working with you and how much they as a client mean to you. And I think people really are looking for someone who's going to take great care of them and service them well when it comes to buying and selling. So that's a pretty critical post-closing step.
And I started doing, others might have already been doing this. I should have been doing it a long time ago, where I would post, you can come through. Hannibal, everyone.
Hi, Hannibal.
Where once, like I originally would just post a picture of my clients after closing and tell like the strategy we used or whatever, and a little bit about them. And now I've started to divide it where, because I saw a lot of y'all do like under contract or pending. I just do the under contract, and I take that opportunity to say, like, to talk about the business side of it, like what we did, were there multiple offers, et cetera, et cetera. And then after closing, I do the picture of them that's more personalized to just them. So it's like the business and then the more kind of personal with just them. And then because I also have a love-hate relationship with social media, I can do stories all day, but I don't want to post all the fucking time.
Right.
This makes it so then I already have 2 easy posts because it makes to the public eye look like I'm doing way more than I'm doing because I have
transactional.
Yeah.
It is very people focused the way you do it. Yeah, you do an excellent job. And I think that's great advice.
Just an idea for anyone that's like struggling to have more posts out. Just do it under contract and talk about strategy or whatever. And then after closing, you'll have an easy post because they've closed and you talk about people. Whatever.
Gosh, we could do an entire training just on the social media aspect. We've done that before. We'll probably do it again the next 2 to 3 months here. And
you should be part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be great to have you a part of that.
And so again, you're 1 week in, you're reaching out, confirming all the utilities are set up. 2 weeks out, you're calling again, making sure they're receiving mail. And then on the 30th day, you're giving a call and reminding of their first payment, and you're setting the expectation for follow-up in the future.
And I wanna highlight a piece about this too. So when I'm at the closing table, I'm telling them next steps for post follow-up. Okay. So I'm setting, just like I set the tone with them when I have a meeting with them, or I take the first phone call and I say, here's what the next steps are. And I'm setting expectation, or when we are writing an offer and I'm setting expectation for the process, I'm doing that at the closing table for my post-closing follow-up. So I tell them exactly what I'm going to do. Yeah, I'd love to take a picture with you. I'm really excited to share your story on social media, and I'll tag you in the post. And then ask for a review at the table, and then let them know going forward, I'm going to follow up with you in a week to make sure that all the utilities are working and everything's going well with the house and you're getting settled in. I'll call you at 2 weeks to make sure that the mail is coming through, just in case there's been any hiccups adjusting to the house as well. And then I'll make sure I call you a month in too to remind you about that first payment. So just know that I'm still here for you if you have any questions about your home in the meantime, but you can count on me following up at those times.
Mm-hmm.
And then take that a step further and let them know, my goal is really to be your realtor for life. I want to be the person that you refer all of your friends and family to. So if there's anything I can help you do to adjust to your new home and be happy in it, I want to know about that.
Mm-hmm.
You should add in there another touch point on homesteading. Like
that's great advice.
Homestead reminder just before whatever the calendar year is. So December, right?
Yep. We've got that on here. Yeah, but just haven't got.
We'll talk about it.
Yep.
One for November 1st and December 1st would be good for that. I try to get them twice if I can, so that in case they forgot in November, then they can remember in December, but not be running there to do it December 15th. Most of them can do it online now too.
Right.
Yep.
And so at day 30, this is your this is going to be where you're going to set the expectation for moving forward. You're going to talk about what Jelena just mentioned with mentioning that you want to be their realtor for life and that you're going to check in every 3 to 6 months.
I
Or what should
actually,
you tell clients?
so I set the tone for that at closing day. I wouldn't wait till day 30 to set the tone for follow-up. I strongly believe in at least a 36 touch plan. We want to tweak this a little bit to kind of be more in line with that. Reminders for sending out thank you notes throughout the year. You can send birthday cards. You can send a home anniversary card, which is a step in here a little bit down the line. Invitations to client appreciation events is another one. So reminders for that are great as well. We're trying to figure out a way to work around some restrictions within setting up plans where you have to decide how many days after a certain step is done before the next step will be completed. And maybe that's just going to be giving a plan out that allows, for you to put in a calendar date on when you want to send those reminders. We're going to keep working on this. Again, this is just kind of a rollout so that you have something to get started with. But I let people know I'm going to be in touch with them at least once a month throughout the year to look for those calendar invites. And that, again, I want to be top of mind. And then I interact with them on social media regularly.
Absolutely.
In fact, here's my tip on that. I don't want to get too much into social media, but if you are not doing this already, you should be doing it. Every client that you have friended on your social media, mark them as a favorite so that everything that they do shows up in your feed. And even if you're just clicking the like button on every one of their posts, think about your own behavior. You go back to every post and you check to see who is liking my post, right? Who's hearting my post, who's making a sad face, who's just giving me the thumbs up. Well, your clients are doing the exact same thing, right? So comment on every post. I definitely encourage that. But at the very least, like every post that you see your clients doing. And the easiest way to keep them top of mind is if you mark them as a favorite.
So when you're telling a client how often you're going to check in with a text or a call, like how often are you telling them?
I don't necessarily set a tone for, I'm going to call you every month. I think that would be a little bit intrusive.
A little bit.
I let them know that, like throughout the year, they'll hear from me about various events and things that I'd love to include them in. And then that way it's just kind of ambiguous. I want them to start avoiding me because I text them, every month on the 1st to remind them that their home payment is due or whatever. They're people, they just want to move on with their lives. So I would say you can be somewhat ambiguous by at the same time saying, I'm your realtor for life. And I want to make sure that going forward, I'm here for anything you need related to your house.
And so I included a couple different talking points because 60 days from that 1 month touch-in where you're reminding them of their first payment. So 2 months later, you'll give them a call, give them a text. And I included a couple just talking points of things that you could bring up in this conversation. And one of the great ones I really like is being able to talk about a PhD client event in there, be able to invite them to that. You can talk to them about like a neighborhood update, or if there are any community events going on in the area, like you can invite them to that. These are just opportunities, like these are just talking points. If you don't really know what to bring up on that call, sometimes a call is just going to flow naturally without you even having as soon as you jump on the call. And so this is an area that you can bring the call if you need it to.
And keep in mind that consumers will answer 94% of text messages or read 94% of text messages. It might make sense that in a lot of these cases, you're trying to reach out to them in text message versus phone call. Doesn't mean never call. I would just say be selective about when you're making calls to people and when you're sending them a text message or an email. It should really be a mix of those 3 things. And read your client. If your client does better communicating with you through text message, if that's how it was during the transaction, follow up in text message. The goal is to connect with them, whether it's through a phone call, through a text, or in an email. You want them to see what it is that you're sending.
6 months in, you're gonna get another check-in call and same talking points. Like I would recommend bringing the same things up with them. Take one of these and just kind of focus on it being the purpose of your call. If it's in November or December, I would say, hey, I would go from the perspective of wishing them Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays to them. And then 3 months from that check-in is going to be their 1-year home anniversary. We recommend sending an anniversary gift at this point. You're going to get reminded the day before. You can like, I think some popular ones are like cookies. What do you do? What have you done in the
Cookies,
past?
happy house anniversary, coffee cards, do a pop by and bring them, some ground coffee in person,
Mhm.
bring them a bottle of wine, bring them a cookie that's, that you've had made for them that says happy house anniversary on it. You're putting some thought into it, right? You can get as creative as you want to. Again, the aim of all this are suggestions, but the goal is connection. People, we are by design in need of connecting with people. And the stronger connection you have with your clients post-closing, the more referrals you're going to get from them.
Absolutely.
Another point of being in tune with them on social media is then throughout that year, you can follow them, see what they like, things that they're interested in them. What are they doing around their house if they've talked about that? And then that could be translated into their home anniversary gift as well.
I think
so then
that
you get
that's
something
great.
and they're like, holy fuck, Ashley's really been thinking about me, or, whatever.
They have a huge
Yeah, and
painting
one
project
thing-
coming up, and then you decide to drop off a set of paintbrushes or a gift card or something like that for paint. I mean, imagine how thoughtful that is, that your agent who helped you buy your home cares enough to show up with something like that. Great tip, Ashley.
One thing I do to add into the follow-up too is I alternate them. So I do a lot of video text to them and just say, hey, was just driving by, was just in the neighborhood thinking about you, just wanted to say hello. And also getting in on seeing what their family is up to. So I have one client right now whose brother's been super sick. So reaching out in those kind of ways, that one's been super huge in supporting her and letting her know that we're here for her. So I kind of try to add it onto the personal level that way. And the videos help for the people I find that aren't on social media. That helps me stay connected with those guys. I don't want to be on social media, but I still need to get that kind of face-to-face thing going. So that's one thing I do.
If you notice, this is going to come on the 364th day of the year. So unless it's leap year, it's going to be the day before their home anniversary. And then you're going to get another notification on the 1 year, 365th day of the year to congratulate them on their property. This is to give you enough time to pick up something, to order something, to be able to plan ahead for that closing, for that anniversary gift. And then on the actual day, you're going to get a task to either pop by or give them a call to congratulate them on 1 year within their property.
Question.
Yes.
For those that procrastinate, like moi, is there a way that we can make that 360th day or something? Yeah, more than a day.
Yeah, I hear you. Home anniversary in
within a week of closing date.
There you go. And then if I miss it, then it's shame on me.
That is great feedback, Ashley. And I'm glad you mentioned that. So something that you're probably thinking, I'm sure you guys are thinking, is like, wow, we have a great post-closing action plan for clients that are about to close. What about all my clients who have already closed? What do we do with them? Great question. I'm glad you all are asking. There are 2 plans in here, and I will think of better names to make this much more clear. Like I said, work in progress, but you're going to see close clients action plan. This is going to give reminders on a 3 to 6 month pace to reach out to your clients. And he also has the same notes on here.
Can I ask everyone, by show of hands or comments, who all of you has a 36 touch plan in place already and knows exactly what to do or has something that they follow? Would you be interested in receiving a copy of that? Because I wrote a 36 touch plan with Caitlin back almost 2 years ago in July of 2022. And that is the one that our marketing plan uses a lot for those who are on marketing plans and have 36 touch plan management. I'm happy to give a copy to agents if that would be helpful.
Yeah, I'm in.
On top of that, like this is also this, you should be sending out like a monthly or a weekly newsletter to your entire client database, which would include your closed clients. And so this is just reminding you of like when you should be reaching out, when you should be touching base. But you should also, this should be supplementary to what you're already doing with a newsletter. But again, this plan right here is going to automatically start at the very end of that first year of that first action plan that we showed. And then basically it's gonna roll every year so that each year moving forward, you're gonna get reminders to text and call for, is it 4 times a year? Yep. Well, 3 times a year. And we're probably gonna change that to 4, but
Is there a way to create a base plan that is a 36 touch plan that starts at day 1? And then an agent could go in on an anniversary day and then just start it on that date?
that's what
Closing?
this would work for that.
Okay, so I think we could even elaborate on this then and turn this into a 36 touch plan with reminders on what to do. It would just be up to each agent to assign it or start it on the right day for their particular lead. So
Yeah, that's the hard part is that
we
that's the
can't go
hard
back
part
and
with
apply
closed
this.
things.
Yeah,
Is we can't apply this in the past to people. And so we're working through that. We'll think of some solutions for what to do with that. But in the meantime, like I said, and I'll send reminders out for what these plans are named. But in this closed clients action plan, this could be applied to any lead that you've already closed with to remind you about touch points throughout the year. And then moving forward, anytime you move a client to closed, when you update the stage to closed, that action plan that we covered together a minute ago will automatically apply to it on that day. And so you don't have
If
to
we,
remember to apply it.
I see that we can go in and edit it and stuff. Does that edit it for everybody in follow-up boss? So we should not do that, or is that just for us?
Unfortunately, agents won't have access to editing it.
Okay,
If you have suggestions though, I'm all ears.
but you can create your own plan.
got it.
They can't, is that what you said?
It won't let them.
They can't create their own action plans and follow up us?
I don't think so.
Yes, they can.
Okay.
I'll make sure you can. Sorry, guys. Overstepping. I know that we have been able to do that before in the past. We'll figure out a way to do it because if you guys all want to tweak this to you, you have to be able to make it what you need. So.
Perfect, thank
I'll
you.
work on that.
I
Any
trust
questions?
whatever Joe says.
I know you can do email like.
Okay, well, here's the thing. We had an agent on the team create all of her own action plans before Joe started his job as the lead manager. So just going based off what she did before.
Because she did more.
Oh, okay, well, I'm gonna figure it out, okay?
We will figure out, honestly, and on top of that, if that's something that you and me and an agent need to work on together to
you
develop
go.
action plans, we're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that you're able to create the systems that you want to put within FUB to stay on top of your client database. So if you have any ideas, if you have any proposals, like let's connect, let's sit down, let's flesh it out. And if we don't have an action plan that fits what you're wanting to do, we'll create it.
See, it's a win-win.
Perfect.
Sam. You got an answer no matter what.
Quick question.
Yes, let's hear it.
I just want to confirm that the action plans in there right now are really just reminders for us as agents, and it's not doing something directly to our clients for the most part.
Spot on. Everything in there is just a task, and I can pull it up again.
Perfect.
Everything in there is just a reminder. There's no emails that go out automatically. There's no texting that goes out automatically. It's all
It's not automated.
it's all tasks.
Task. Got it.
So again, this is a new system. I built it yesterday, and we'll probably end up tweaking it a little bit throughout the year. So I'd love your
Amazing.
feedback on it. But the goal of it is to be able to get you guys more referrals. So With
Appreciate
that,
it.
Thank you.
I want to thank everyone for jumping on today and reach out to us if you have any questions.
Or,
Thanks,
or
Joe.
if
You guys rock.
additional suggestions at all, like something that's working for you that think would be beneficial to have in there, reach out to Joe too, you know, or myself. We can look at adding in maybe some other suggestions that you guys have. And Ashley, send some of that sunshine over to us.
Well, I was about to say, Jelena, hold on. Here's your little girl.
Oh, I need, where's my little nugget?
Come here, Reggie.
She can walk. She's just like, she's 9 months old and she's like running.
Oh my
Come
word.
on, girl.
This is the future Simone Biles, guys. Okay, like that's what you're looking at right there. Hi, baby girl. Hi.
What
So
you doing? Say good morning.
she said, "Look what I can do."
Yeah. Okay, we're attacking.
Aw, good
All right.
morning.
Goodbye.
Have a great trip. We'll see y'all later. Thanks, guys.